Gut, das Telefon wird es wohl nicht sein. Das ist ein elektrischer Hund. Das ist ein... Okay, ich will jetzt auch nicht weiter so tun. Ich weiß, wo es ist. Daran erinnere ich mich noch von damals, als ich das gespielt habe. Das eine oder andere erinnere ich mich noch und das ist eine dieser Erinnerungen, dass man da diesen riesigen Bären untersuchen muss. There doesn't seem to be anything giving off radio waves there, Mr. Nick. Keep a careful eye on the bug sweeper and let's try again. Das war noch da oben. Da. Ah, okay, jetzt. This is just a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I have ever seen.
Hey, so, did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean?
No, not yet, but this bear's eye is...
Let's see. A perfectly normal stuffed bear with some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you found the device to me, pal. Let's dig this big fella's eye out and see what we've got.
No, the poor bear, you can't. Such a violent act. Oh, ich glaube, die kippt gleich bewusstlos um. Aha.
It's a miniature camera, and it looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer.
What a meter?
A transmitter, pal.
Oh, is this more of that high-tech stuff? Interesting. So this tiny thing is a camera?
Yup, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small, high-grade video camera, mostly used in security systems.
Ich bin immer total überrascht, wenn er tatsächlich mal kompetente Antworten gibt. So it's a video camera.
It runs on a battery, which comes with it in a set.
But there's no videotape in this camera.
This is only the camera part here, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside it is somewhere else.
Somewhere else?
The footage is changed into radio waves, and then it's sent to that recorder.
So it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it?
Hey, you know, you're right.
Okay. Oh, und Timer war 8 Uhr. Set to record the victim's room from 8 p.m. for 1 hour. Was running at time of murder. So what is a transmitter?
It's a device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal.
It looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing.
No, that's a timer, pal. You can set it to turn the camera on and record at a certain time with it.
You can set it for a certain time?
Yup. Let's see, this looks like it was set to start at 8 p.m. and go for 1 hour.
8 p.m.? That was the time of the award ceremony ended.
There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I guess.
Mr. Detective, how long has this bear been here?
I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder.
Then maybe...
Maybe this camera caught the murder on tape.
What?
And if you think about the angle the bear is at, it's bound to have had a clear shot of the whole crime, pal.
Okay. So there was a camera in this bear's eye, and it was disguised as a present.
And I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. It's pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind.
But who gave Mr. Carita this present?
I don't know, pal. But this means that someone out there's got a video of what happened here that night.
Isn't there any way we can find out who that person is?
It's impossible, pal. Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere, so there's no way to find out.
Oh. Is there really no way to find out?
I got it.
What?
Hey, pal, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go around to the electronics shops and see if I can find out who bought this.
But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 p.m.
Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal.
Okay, geben wir ihm das mal.
Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeehaw!
Schon wieder.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's pushing himself so hard, all for Mystic Maya's sake.
Ist tatsächlich mal erfrischend, Gumshoe so viel um uns zu haben als, wie soll ich sagen, als Ally. Und dann auch noch mal sowas wie Kompetenz von ihm mitzubekommen. It's a mystery how you always... Das ist bestimmt Edgeworth. How you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right? You'll have to excuse me, I heard your conversation just now. Edgeworth, what are you doing here? A rescue team has been created and deployed. I can't say I'm optimistic, but we have to move forward, one step at a time. I see. Thanks. Don't thank me yet, we still have to find her. Ja, aber wie denn überhaupt? Ich meine, ist ja jetzt nicht viel übrig, oder? Also, viel übrig. Ich meine, es gibt ja nicht viele Hinweise. So there was a spy camera hidden inside this stuffed animal, huh? You are one lucky man, right? Do you know this stuffed bear, little girl?
I have no idea.
Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. It's completely handmade and only a small number of these are exported here. Das heißt, man sollte sehr einfach herausfinden, wer den gekauft hat, oder? What? The camera and transmitter that Scatterbrain Detective took with him are dead ends. Stimmt, da kann er wahrscheinlich die ganze Nacht buchen. Aber der Bär? Things like those can be bought anywhere. However, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is.
Can you really do that? Mr. Nick, can you really?
Well, I guess so. It's 9 p.m. I think I can still make it in time. I'll be taking this for now. Wie finde ich die Vorstellung lustig, wie Edgeworth da mit einem riesengroßen Teddybär rausläuft. I'm sure you have other things you have to do. Stuffed bear snatched up by Edgeworth. See you soon, right? Wait. What? Why are you doing this? I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. But besides that, right, until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Zu Hause steht der Beste aufweckt. Oh Gott. Ich glaube, dann haben wir demnächst doch ein Murder Trial. Who was the person that murdered Juan Corrida? The real killer. Do you really still think it was Adrian Andrews? To be honest, I don't know anymore. You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth. Juan Corrida's real killer. Miss Andrews passed. The kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal from Mr. On Guard. And this card, Shelley the Killer. Maya, the only way I can save you now is to find all the answers to this case tonight. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. But as you said, all I can do for now is find the truth. Okay.
It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya.
Ja, so schnell geht das bestimmt nicht. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay.
You're right.
So the real person who killed Mr. Corrida was...
That assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right?
And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client?
You mean, who asked for the murder?
That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, there's still a killer.
Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews?
I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself?
But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be.
Matt Ungard himself?
If Mr. Ungard really did hire the assassin,
Then he is not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime.
but it can be Mr. Ungard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him...
Mr. Ungard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Corrida?
Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Corrida, okay?
I didn't see any cyclops at that time. Actually, that reminds me.
Did you remember something, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting.
So what is this interesting thing?
That's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Because, ja, weil es gerade Mia in ihrem Körper war.
Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Mr. Ungard's secret? What is this secret?
I don't know yet, but for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Corrida was going to reveal this secret. That means Mr. Ungard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Corrida silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Ungard. There's no way around it now. Oh.
Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. Wie alt ist sie nochmal? Müsste sie nicht auch langsam mal richtig müde werden? 8, ja. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of the secret Mr. Corrida held about Mr. Ungard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight.
But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center?
I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. Wir brechen einfach ein. Oh. Oh, bitte. Können wir nicht mal genug von der haben? Also ich meine, wir haben genug von der, aber... Hey, wait.
What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you has ever could. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole
Viel Spaß. That's, the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made.
I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. But the request came from Edgy Poo, so...
Edgeworth?
And he said...
If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer, Dankeschön.
So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you.
Oh, gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are.
This is absolutely top secret, so you had better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents.
Oh, very interesting.
I'm sure it was, you know, it was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan.
Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Corrida.
I'll let you in on another secret, young one. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious poppy-haired photographer girl, the nerve of some people.
Na, wenn der Bär so schweineteuer war, kann ich mir das irgendwie nicht vorstellen.
Spying on people by herself as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too.
Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change.
I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet that it's nothing good.
But I didn't say anything.
So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two.
Oh?
I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know that manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though.
Oh, Celeste. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impax, Miss Andrews' mentor, right?
Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know.
Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita?
Really, you young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement.
What the hell? 3 days after the marriage announcement? What in the... Ja, genau. Warum macht man denn sowas?
Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan.
What?
But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly cancelled their marriage.
Is that true?
It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately.
Okay, I see.
That night, after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself.
How terrible.
I wonder what happened between those two.
Huh. Interessant. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. It looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Geht's hier weiter?
It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened.
You're Mr. Engarde's lawyer, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness.
Was? Wie? Jetzt echt schon? Decisive witness? You mean for the Engarde case?
We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth.
What is Edgeworth up to now?
Who is this witness?
I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer.
Mr. Nick?
Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here.
Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something.
He did?
Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go.
What?
Already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content.
Thank you very much.
This is such good news, Mr. Nick.
Go talk to your heart's content. It sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Man. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. Engarde and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? That's my Matt.
Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you, dude.
I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Corrida was killed by an assassin and that the assassin's client is this man, Matt Engarde.
What's wrong, dude?
Mr. Engarde, there's something I must know with 100% certainty.
You seem kinda different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self.
About the press conference.
You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as a nickel samurai?
Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews.
Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful.
Ja, das hatten wir schon zweimal jetzt. Could you please fill me in on what the secret is, please? Oh. Oh ja, klar. I knew this was coming.
Mr. Nick, don't tell me.
Cyclops.
You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is, dude. Do you?
Nicht wirklich, also das versuche ich jetzt gar nicht. Did you know about Mr. Corrida and Miss Andrews' relationship?
Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. Oh, but I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life, dude.
Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Corrida. Her mentor was Mr. Corrida's manager, and Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him.
Celeste?
Does that jog any memories? Was jetzt?
Dude, I suddenly just get totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat.
Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? Is it?
Kind of pee? No, let's go eat one later, okay?
I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop.
That's too bad.
Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay?
Miss Engard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? Wir können ja mal kurz gucken, was da kommt. Aber ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass wir dafür noch nicht genug haben. Holy fuck, 5 Stück. Let's hear what the secret of yours is. What if Mr. Correa had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed?
I told you before, dude, I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night.
Come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. I know you paid close attention to Mr. Correa. Ich höre erstmal auf. 5 Logs. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich da großartig weiterkomme. Wahrscheinlich muss ich jetzt nochmal zurück. Und dann wieder dahin, damit ich die andere Person auswählen kann. Huh? Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Oh. Oh, was macht der denn hier? Mr. Powers.
What happened? Why are you here?
You see, I got roped into this somehow.
What?
And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial.
Oh, So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers?
I was talking with a detective until a little while ago, and I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you under arrest, and I was brought back here.
Oh.
They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious
or something. Das war doch letztes Mal auch schon so, dass er die ganze Zeit traurig war, weil ihn alle für so verdächtig halten, weil er so gruselig aussieht. Oh, well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious.
I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime?
Okay. So, about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about?
I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me.
You saw something important? What was it?
No, well, the detective told me not to talk about it.
You can't tell anyone, and especially not the lawyer.
He said.
Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me.
Yeah, you got it.
Mr. Nick, Mr. Maya and myself are your only 2 allies in this whole world, but it's alright.
I don't really have a lot of friends, do I?
This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going on.
But what is he really like?
Well, let's see, Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself.
Kriegt nicht sehr nett.
What? How horrible. That's unforgivable.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me.
One person who wouldn't swoon over him?
His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews.
Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic?
Oh, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in the world have this dazzling sort of image, right?
A dazzling sort of image, but aren't you part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers?
No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly booch kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen.
Well, that's true.
Oh, hey, so did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide?
You mean Miss Impax?
We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why did you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead.
Mr. Powers is so charged up. His skin is practically glowing with electricity. Okay, minimized.
So, have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. And they say that Juan went and hid it.
Ja, das hatten wir schon mal gehört. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note.
Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is.
Something bad from Mr. Carita?
Why do you figure so?
Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man.
Huh, a truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Carita by that?
Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note.
I see. Well, that's some good info, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ongard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Okay, ja gut, dann gehen wir jetzt nochmal hin. Und diesmal sprechen wir mit, mit Adrian. Die wird sich bestimmt freuen, uns zu sehen.
Oh, it's you.
I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight.
Me? I thought your client was Matt.
I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Carita had on Mr. Ongard. I'd like to ask you about Matt Ongard, if you don't mind.
Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean.
You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. Ongard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival?
That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing.
Ja, genau. Und es gibt den Weihnachtsmann. About Miss Celeste Impax.
I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and to burn it.
You wanted to burn it? But why?
I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid.
The suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. Ongard?
That's simple, because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way.
The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right?
Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews.
Well, Mike, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason, so please tell me why you did what you did.
Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now?
Oh, great. Super. Oh, aber nur eins. A psychlog, huh?
Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But
I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. Mal gucken, was haben wir denn hier? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Ongard for the murder?
I've already told you countless times it's because I thought Matt was the killer.
No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Ongard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge.
So you are saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for.
Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There's something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Ich nehme mal an...
Celeste.
There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. And that is Miss Impax's suicide.
What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt?
You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But from you to hate Mr. Ongard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide.
Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt?
No. Shit, I don't think I have enough evidence yet. Okay.
Mr. Nick, your phone.
Oh, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it?
I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous.
Yeah, I know.
Hello?
We're in trouble now, pal. I'll be back at the office really soon.
What's wrong?
Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth,
Edgeworth?
Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's no good. The end.
Okay, he got cut off.
What's going on, Mr. Nick?
Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away.
Then we should hurry back.
I'm scared to go back. Jetzt ist wirklich der blutdurchtränkte Karton da. Memoir von Maya oder so.
What are you talking about, Mr. Nick? Pull yourself together.
Maybe it'll be good news.
Somehow I doubt that.